And so now onto the last of the close mics, and this time it's the ride. The ride is usually played infrequently, and because it will be panned fairly wide, spill needs to be very carefully managed. It will of course feature in the overhead recordings, so once again the challenge is to extract the close mic signature that best separates the ride from everything else. Panning. Let's do this first. From the drummer's perspective, the ride will be on the right. Check against the overhead picture to be sure it sits properly in the stereo field. EQ. I'm going to use a lot of EQ to focus tightly on the characteristic ping of the ride so that we can mix this back in without adding too much to the broad wash of high frequencies that exist in the overheads. And doing so will also start to reduce spill from the kick and the snare. Now, with this high frequency boost here, try to pick out the ping of the ride. Noise gate. Before we hit compression, we need to remove a lot of the remaining high-end spill. Adjust the parameters to suit. In this case, we'll adjust the input filters to make sure it's listening to the high frequency content. To avoid cutting the decay of the ride too short, we'll keep the hold and release fairly long. Note the position of the sliders on the high and the low cutoff are all the way to the right. That's helping us to focus on just those high frequencies. Compression. We can use this to emphasize that ping we talked about, but also to make sure the decay is nicely balanced. So again, we'll be adjusting the attack and release times once we've established a suitable threshold, just to keep it under control. We don't want it poking out of the mix too much. And we also want to allow the decay of the ride to decrease gently and in time with the tempo of the music. Obviously, listen to it in the context of the overheads. You may need to make some fine adjustments to the parameters in the noise gate, and then just bring in enough just so that it's just sitting in the mix nicely and we're aware of the presence of the ride doing its thing out there towards the right hand side of the stereo image. That's good. Doesn't want to be too obvious, but we definitely want to hear it in the mix.